Whoever said running wasn't an expensive sport clearly didn't run enough. Once you start running quite a bit, you realise, oh, I'm a bit interested in shoes. Then you realise you're going through them quite quickly. Then you realise you're suddenly buying loads and loads, and then it's Black Friday and you're constantly scouring all the shoe websites looking for good deals, and you want to buy them all but you just don't have enough money. Let's talk about shoes. So first of all, what is a shoe rotation? So a lot of people that just run casually might just have one pair of shoes they do everything in. Maybe they're just doing easy runs, or maybe they're doing a whole range of things from easy to threshold to sessions to racing. Once you start running a little bit more, I'm averaging 40 to 50 miles a week at the moment. You need some shoes to do different things in, partly so that the shoes last longer and partly so that your legs last longer. Here, from top to bottom, we have the shoes that I do my easy days in, down to my race day shoes. And this helps, as I said, helps the shoes to last longer because the foam can recover more if you're not pounding on them every single day, and means that when I go to do a session, I can be in something a little bit faster, like one of these two. They have some technology in them that helps you to hop off the floor and make use of your energy more efficiently, I guess. But also on those easy days, you just want something nice and soft below you, comfortable, cushioned to protect the legs, make you just float along the pavement a bit, and that's where some of these come involved. And a shoe rotation, I'd say, isn't necessary unless you're taking running seriously. Like, if you're taking running seriously, I think even having two pairs of shoes is great. If you have the option to have more shoes, I think it really revolutionises your training, even just for the fact that we are in England and it does rain a lot. When I go out for a run on a Tuesday and these get absolutely soaked, I don't have to put them back on again for my run on Wednesday. I can put these on instead. That's the kind of thing, that's why shoe rotations are useful. Let's get into dissecting what this one means. Okay, this is my shoe rack, and I'm gonna start at the top, work to the bottom. Let's start with this shoe. You'll have seen this shoe before if you've watched my channel. It's got a whole video of its own. It is the Hocus Skyf. So this is my main easy day shoe. I do most of my miles in this shoe, get everything done, all of the easy miles, the recovery miles, do some gym work in it. This is the daily trainer. It was released in July of 2024. It has a retail price of £150, which is potentially a little bit expensive for an easy day shoe, but the way the market's going at the moment, I kind of consider £130 to be the average, so it's just a little bit more. Hocus is a neutral max cushion easy day shoe. It's 280 grams. Weight is a little bit kind of weird because you never know what sizes shoe companies measure, but I've just got the weight off the website, so it's 280 grams. Stack height, it's got 39 millimeters in the heel and 34 in the toe for a 5 millimeter drop, so it is pretty much maximum cushioned. Lots of good foam underneath there, supercritical EVA foam, and it's got a 4-foot rocker and a supportive heel, as they say on their website. All of these things sound a bit useless, especially for an easy day shoe, but I think they all come into play actually with this shoe. I said this in my video a while ago, the easy paces are fantastic, but you can move through the paces a bit as well, and it's quite happy doing some strides at the end of an easy run without any problem. One of the main reasons I like it is because although it's maximum cushioned, it's not too squidgy. It doesn't feel like you're running around on clouds. You've got a bit of firmness and a bit of support under there, which I think suits me a little bit better. Talking of clouds, let's move on to the next shoe. This one also has a video all of its own, and it is the OnCloud Monster, the original version. What is this shoe used for? Well, it's kind of another easy day shoe, but with more of a focus on steady work and long runs, I guess. This was released in March of 2022, so quite a long time ago. They've since released an OnCloud Monster 2 and Cloud Monster Hyper, all sorts of versions, but On shoes in general are pretty expensive, so I got the original one on discount, although the retail price is still £160. So it's a max cushion shoe according to On, weight of 275 grams. It's got 35 millimeters in the back and 28 millimeters in the front for a, it says 6 millimeter drop here, but that maths can't be right. So it's a tiny bit less cushioned than the Hocus, but it feels a lot more less cushioned. It feels pretty firm. It does soften up over time, but especially when I first got it, it was a super, super firm shoe. And that might partly be due to the speed board that it's got running through it. You can see it through the bottom, and another 4-foot rocker again. This shoe is great if you're landing on your 4-foot. It's nice and poppy. The speed board gives you a little bit of extra energy return without kind of the wear and tear on your legs of carbon shoes. So I think it's really nice from that perspective. Is it worth the money? This is a debate that I'm still gonna have with myself. So I got this for £110 in comparison to 160, and for that it's definitely worth the money. It's a great shoe that you can do a lot of different speeds in. I feel like if I went on holiday, like I have actually, yeah, I've gone on holiday sometimes and just taken this shoe as the shoe that I wanted, because it can do faster stuff, anything up to threshold easily. I did some hill reps in it the other day, and that was a little bit, not clunky exactly, but just you felt the weight of it a bit. It moves through the stride really nicely, and it sits in a nice little niche hole in my shoe rotation. I don't use it an absolute ton, but long runs especially, steady runs, really good. Every time I use it, I go back to it and think, oh yes, I remember this is good fun. So a lovely shoe to have in the rotation. On to something a bit faster. The Adidas Boston 12. What a shoe. Where do I begin with this shoe? This is the only shoe out of this lineup that hasn't had its own video yet, but I've just hit 200 miles in this pair. So a video will be on the way, I promise you. This is great. This is one of my best purchases ever, I think. So let's give you some stats first. So I mainly use it for sessions, threshold in particular. Anything kind of like a long session, little bit slower, but still where you want some pop and responsiveness, this is the guy. Especially if, like a lot of my threshold sessions, I like run to the place where I do the session and run back and don't want to change shoes. This is good for that. So it was released in June 2023 to a very big lineup of Boston shoes. This is number 12. I never tried the 11s, but apparently they weren't as good, and this was a massive little recharge to the whole Boston lineup. It's £140 at retail price. I think I got it for 120 or 110 potentially, so a little bit better. And Adidas say it's a fast tempo training shoe with high performance technology, and that I think is a really interesting point about this shoe. It's 267 grams with a 7mm drop from 38mm in the back to 31 in the front, and it's got Light Strike Pro foam and Light Strike 2.0 foam, Energy Rods 2.0 in the bottom as well. Right, this is the main cool point about this shoe. It's taking all of the technology you'd expect to see in their Pro range, so the Pro 4 that's just got released, the Kumi Sen, even a bit of the Evo as well, and it's putting it into a more affordable, more durable shoe. It's got its Continental rubber on the bottom. The fact that you can get such professional technology with a good durable shoe, I think it is fantastic, and it feels really good under the feet. This shoe's great because it is fast, but it's still cushioned and protective. And so I find that I can do those longer sessions. I can do warm up and cool down in the shoes, and it doesn't destroy my legs. I've done track sessions in this shoe. I did a track session last night. The grip is excellent. It's hardly worn down at all after 200 miles. Like, this is just a bit of a beast of a shoe. I do feel like if I had to have like a desert island shoe, this could be it, to be honest. Yes, it has rods in it, but I think I can run easy in this, or at least definitely run steady in this, and I can run 5k pace. It's a bit heavier, obviously, because it's got that cushioning, but as a training shoe, I think this is possibly the most valuable one I have. I don't know. I really like the Boston 12. Moving on to the final shoe, and that is the Adidas Kumi Sen 8. By far the oldest shoe of this lineup. It was released in February of 2022. Nowadays you can get it for £90, somewhere around that. It's going very cheap. However, it has a lot of older brothers. It's been upgraded to the 9 and now even the 10, and the 10 retails at like £170, I think. And essentially they're snappy shoes for 5 and 10k distances, race shoes. They come in at just 185 grams with a 6mm drop from 33mm to 27mm. It's got that Light Strike Pro foam again that we saw in the Bostons. It's got the energy rods like we saw in the Bostons. I think these are just the first version, not the second version though. It's got that Continental rubber again on the bottom. And interestingly, it's got at least 50% recycled material in the upper, which I thought was just a nice little fact. I've had this shoe a long time, and my general thoughts are, it is aggressive. It's great, but it is like a beast. It doesn't take any prisoners. It's just there to go fast. It doesn't care what state your legs are left in once you finish using it. It is just designed to get you round a race as fast as possible, which is why I don't think it's the best training tool. I think it helped give me shin splints, which is not great. It is fast. I raced my latest 5k PB in this shoe and it felt great. Light, snappy, Feels like there's hardly anything on your feet, and like you really feel fast in this shoe. I'd not get a Kumi Sen again, I don't think. I mean, I haven't tried the 10, but I think this is too aggressive for me, at least to train in. There's something about it which I'm not quite sure about. I think it's just a little bit too harsh, potentially. I'm not sure, bit too unforgiving maybe. Just something that hasn't quite sat with me right, and I'm kind of looking to replace it, to be honest, because I feel like it just might do some damage to me. I'm not sure, but it's had a really good innings. I've had it for well over a year, and I've done a lot of track sessions in it, and it'll still be a good training tool, I think. It's a good shoe, it's a fantastic shoe, and I think if it works for you, then you're gonna be absolutely flying. There we go. That's the end of my shoe rotation. These are what I use every single week. They literally do get used every week, I think. They all have their place. I think 3 or 4 shoes is a really good number to have for a shoe rotation. I don't feel like I need any more, but I feel like these positions of easy to steady, threshold, and session/race is all I need. I'm so happy with all of them. But I did think, let's make the end of this a little bit fun, and let's write a wish list. You know, Christmas is coming up, so if any brands want to fulfill this wish list, I'll happily take something. I've got 4 shoes on my wish list currently, and the first one fits into this easy day category because you're always rattling through easy day shoes, and I've been a massive fan of Hocus easy day shoes, as you saw with the video for this. So I thought I'm just gonna go for Hocus for the rest of my life, basically. However, in a running shop recently, I tried on the New Balance 1080 V14 and was quietly blown away. Very soft, but with lovely kind of even softness throughout the bottom. It just felt really nice under my foot. I'd love to know how that would feel in the long term, because it felt great at the time, but I also didn't like the gel cumulus so much because it was too soft, so not sure about that. I'd love to try it out. The second is a Hocus Speed Go. I want this for the trails. I don't have a good trail shoe yet. I want something to go herring around the hills when I go home. And it's just started getting icy in Newcastle now, so I'd quite like that, so I don't slip over, basically. The next 2 shoes come into the let's replace these category and have a bit of fun. The first one is the Hocus Rocket X2. Again, this is keeping on with my kind of Hocus addiction that I have. They fit me really well from the easy day shoe perspective, so I would like to try them out for their fast shoe. The Rocket X2 seems to have suited a lot of people very well. I've seen people use it from 5K to half marathon. I'd love to have it as like a workhorse shoe. I can race in, I can train in, do all my fast kind of stuff in it. And along similar veins to that, I love a Vaporfly. The Vaporfly and Alphafly are kind of those shoes that everyone knows. It's the fast one that everyone knows. It's kind of the first ones to have proper carbon plates in them. I don't want an Alphafly, don't feel the need for an Alphafly, but I really would like a Vaporfly, again for the same reasons. To race in. There you go. That is my shoe rotation. Let me know what you think in the comments. What shoes am I missing? Do you like any of these shoes? Do you have any of these shoes? I think it's a pretty nice rotation for now, although these are getting the miles in them, so they might have to be replaced soon. I want to replace these. That's it. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.